This is Epcot's World Showcase at Walt Disney World in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. The World Showcase is supposed to be reminiscent of a World's Fair, and it has 11 pavilions featuring information, food, and culture related to 11 countries around the world. They surround the World Showcase Lagoon at Epcot across from Future World and Spaceship Earth. The first one is the Canada Pavilion. The Canadian government was concerned about stereotypes like lumberjacks, and they refused funding for this, but it still got built. There are some Aboriginal totem poles like you might find in British Columbia. I was here for the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, so there are a bunch of topiary sculptures of Disney characters at the different pavilions. There are red telephone booths, so that means this is the United Kingdom Pavilion. And there's a Shakespearean garden. I think this main building kind of resembles Hampton Court. There's one building representative for each century of English history. Topiary Peter Pan and Captain Hook battling it out. These pavilions are primarily staffed by people from the country represented, which helps with the authenticity of the experience of visiting them. The France Pavilion has a miniature Eiffel Tower in the distance. It kind of looks like a street in Paris. They are building a new ride here, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, a 3D dark ride, which is already at Disneyland Paris. I did eat at this pavilion at the Les Halles Boulangerie. There's some old gross chocolate sculptures. This is my croque monsieur, a ham and cheese sandwich with a chocolate croissant. This is the Morocco Pavilion, which was added in 1984. It's the only pavilion which the country's government oversaw the design of. It has a really neat replica of the Koutalbia minaret in Marrakesh. It also has a replica of Chella in Rabat. The Moroccan government did send artisans to do all this. Now onto the Japan Pavilion. It has a really neat pagoda and castle. There was going to be a ride similar to Matterhorn in Disneyland or Everest the Animal Kingdom based on Mount Fuji, and I think the monster was going to be Godzilla. And there's a replica of the Itsukushima Shrine. It's really neat with Spaceship Earth in the background. At the center, of course, is the American Adventure with a giant colonial style building. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to go in and see the show with animatronics about America. In 1985, it was too cold for an outdoor public second inauguration of President Ronald Reagan in Washington, D.C., so Disney invited President Reagan and all the bands that were going to perform the inaugural parade to Epcot. So it happened on May 27th, 1985, and Reagan gave a speech here, and there was a parade around the World Showcase.
Well, indeed, it is an honor for me to be here today to receive a magnificent gift that I received, and a second and very much warmer inauguration day.
This is the Italy Pavilion, which has a lot of nods to Venice, obviously because of the replica of St. Mark's Campanile, and the Doge's Palace. It looks a lot like the Venetian in Las Vegas, but I think Vegas copied this copy. They also have the columns of San Marco and San Teodoro, which are in Venice. There was going to be a phase 2 with a gondola dark ride and a Roman ruins walkthrough, but unfortunately that got cancelled. That would have been awesome. This fountain is similar to the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Over by the Germany Pavilion, they have a model railroad and village. There are serious rumors that this will soon be the Brazil Pavilion. And this is the Germany Pavilion, which has a mix of different eras of architecture and regions into one little town square. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is believed to be inspired by a tale by the Brothers Grimm. This was built when Germany was still split, and they tried to build it without too much emphasis on either the east or the west. And there was also going to be a Rhine River boat ride, but that fell through. This little area is supposed to be representative of Central and Southern Africa. And this is the China Pavilion. They have an amazing replica of the Temple of Heaven in Beijing, which was used by the emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties for ceremonies of prayer to heaven. The Norway Pavilion and the Mexico Pavilion both have separate videos because those two both have really neat dark rides, so please check out those videos. I waited at the Italy Pavilion for illuminations during the evening. Really is beautiful at night.